Hello, my name is Paris. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Alright, so today I wanted to talk about my screenplay that I'm currently working on and hopefully form some kind of community with whoever else might be working on their own creative project, a screenplay or something else. I have my TikTok page. I think it's called Paris the Creative. I'm thinking about changing the name of it, but on there I do talk about creativity and giving inspiration and tips and whatnot, and I wanted to move that kind of content onto my YouTube channel so that I can talk more about my own personal experiences with creativity and what it is I'm working on, but also be able to just make longer form content about this kind of thing. So yeah, today we're going to talk about the screenplay that I'm currently engaging with and some tips that I have about the process, and to also kind of share that the creative process is not always this linear, beautiful, easy peasy lemon squeezy thing. And so I have written many screenplays throughout my life. I first started writing screenplays, I want to say my freshman or sophomore year of high school, and I genuinely cannot remember why I got into it. I've always been into writing, so I just didn't write screenplays. I think at that point mostly writing poetry and music and whatever. But I always had ideas for movies, but I don't think that, because I always had a notes app that I would put down little ideas in, but I don't know why I just never really started writing them until that point. And I was homeschooled, and with my homeschool program, we were given a certain amount of money every semester to spend on supplemental things to help with our curriculum or whatever. And I ended up using some of that money to buy Final Draft, which is a really, I think it's the industry standard writing software for writing screenplays. So I got that, and then that's how I started writing. And honestly, this is going to kind of connect with a theme later in the video, but really it just came from, I like watching movies, I like hearing stories, I like entertainment, I like media, and I wanted to participate in it. And it was very simple. So I was writing those screenplays, and I was just those first ones were really bad. I was returning to them the other day, and I was like, oof. But I'm very grateful for them because I definitely had to get my feet wet and kind of learn how to do it. And I know there's a lot of free softwares if you don't want to pay for Final Draft. I think I got mine with a student discount. It was $100 something. But yeah, so I mean, it can feel like it's unapproachable, but it really is. And so I was writing those screenplays, kind of having fun, just not really thinking about it. I didn't do any of it professionally. I wasn't really thinking that hard about how I was gonna turn these into actual movies. At this point, I was more interested in acting, so that was really more where my mind was as far as actually creating a career in entertainment. And then I turned 18 this time last year. My birthday was January 13th. I'm gonna have a birthday vlog going up soon. I don't know if it'll come up before this or after this, but I turned 18, and I was like, oh my god, I am an adult and I am a grown woman now, technically, and I need to own my life, and I need to really start building the things that I want to build, and all the things that I said, oh, I'm gonna do that when I'm older. I'm older now. I actually gotta start doing those things. And I really wanted to commit to this path. I wanted to commit to the path of being an artist, and I wanted to take myself seriously, and I just wanted to make it all be real for myself. And when I turned 18, this is the mindset that I was in. And I feel like every time I kind of got into that state, screenwriting somehow would always come back to me. And it was interesting because screenwriting was never really something that I took that seriously. But I liked it, but it wasn't what I thought I was going to do as my main thing. I was going through my emails, and I got an email from Final Draft, and they were endorsing the Rockabirdy Writers Retreat. And essentially it was a retreat in France where you are going to be mentored by some industry professionals, and there's a Netflix producer that's going to be there that you're also going to get to meet and talk to. So it was this whole little retreat thing, and I saw it and I was like, oh my god, this is the thing. I was telling myself that I want to take myself seriously. This is an excellent opportunity for me to take myself seriously. So it was a scholarship that they were offering. I don't know if all the spots have already filled up, but then there was a scholarship opportunity. They're giving away five scholarships, I think. So I submitted for it, and to submit, you had to write a little blurb about yourself, write a synopsis about your story. I did not have a screenplay yet, but you didn't have to have a finished draft, but write in a blurb about yourself and your synopsis for your story. So I submitted both of those, and then a week later, I found out that I got the scholarship. I didn't get the full one, but I got one of the partial ones, and I was so excited. I did not have the money to pay for the retreat. So my parents, I'm so grateful that they have believed in my dreams and have been investing in them. So my parents paid for me to be able to go to the retreat, and then I ended up doing I had some interviews, whatever, signing up for the retreat, and it's gonna be this summer. So this was all, I haven't gone yet. So this was early last year. But now I had a screenplay that I needed to write that's due in May, in a few months, and I had to get that out. So here I am. I have over a year to write a script and to get it to write the script. And also, let me talk for a second about the script that I ended up writing, or the script that I, decided to submit. I was kind of sitting there and I was thinking I had a few different ideas of like what I wanted to write, but everything that I already had so far, like all the scripts that I already had done, I like didn't really want to submit. Like I just didn't really like, I don't know why, I just like didn't want to send those ones in. I didn't like them as much. And then I just had this idea and I was like, why don't I share my story? Why don't I share something that I've experienced? And because of that, I ended up deciding to write a story about a girl in her early 30s with maladaptive daydreaming disorder and who is trying to become a successful model. And I think I'm going to go a little bit more in depth about like what the story is about actually after this point, but I decided that was going to be a story that I wrote, and I just kind of wrote out a little synopsis, sent it in, whatever. So now here I am, I have a year to write the script. So what did I do? Did I start writing it? Of course not. I spent maybe 6 months or over 6 months in a state of pure stress and pure anxiety and pure procrastination. I had people that knew some of the biggest movie stars and celebrities in the world in their contact list on their phone, who had Academy Awards, who had Emmys, who had won, who had been nominated, who had achieved significant success in the entertainment industry, and that these people, I was going to be around them, and they were going to read my work, and they were going to pour into me as an artist. And this was a beautiful opportunity that I'm eternally grateful for. But it was also utterly terrifying, and I was so scared of being seen like that. But I was so scared. So I go, and so I just procrastinated and I didn't write at all. And it wasn't until later last year where I was like, okay, there is a deadline, so I have to start writing at some point. But it was until late last year, I want to say it was like November, December, I started working with a life coach, and this was something that we were talking about. And I started working towards unpacking my creative block that I was in. Because you could say it was like writer's block, but it wasn't even that, it was just like anxiety. And I did a lot of stuff that helped me get to a point where I could start writing again. And then I ended up writing the first draft of my script in about 2 weeks. And I've been sharing some of my tips on my TikTok channel, but I definitely make like longer form videos talking about what it is I did during this time and what it is I'm still doing, because it's still a process and something I'm still working on. I want to devote my life to creativity, so it's always going to be a process that I'm in. But yeah, so I got to a point where I was writing a lot better, and I finally got it done. I guess I don't want to like kind of leave you on like a like a suspense of like what it is I did to help, because I know that that's something a lot of writers struggle with. But like I first of all, I developed a creative process and like what it is I would do every day to get myself into the mindset of creating. That was something that I made like a TikTok about, but like getting up, doing meditation, doing like something to get into my body. So I would like go on a walk, or I would do like jumping jacks, so like something to get into my body, and then I would meditate, and then I would just saying affirmations and saying like a prayer of gratitude for creativity and creation. It's actually a little thing that I've been doing every single time I sit to watch a movie, and then it has the credits for whoever the screenwriter was. I will like thank the screenwriter. I watched Boy Erased yesterday, and I think that the screenwriter's name was like Joel or something, and I was like, thank you, Joel. Like, thank you, Joel, for following your creativity and deciding to create this like beautiful work of art that I get to enjoy now. I started to do that, and then just really like focusing in on my creativity, and then I would write, and I would like, kind of stay in that focused state for a few hours and get my screenplay done. And there's just like a lot of that's like a whole thing that could be like a 3-hour video. So I just kind of wanted to give like a little bit of my tips there. And then I got my first draft done. So I brought my first draft with me. Here she is. She's called Margot's Mind. Margot's Mind. A script by Parisg, and she's all done. And I have now been in the editing process. I'm gonna start the second draft soon. I have been drafting out the second draft. I've been, plotting the second draft of the script. I was so nervous because I kept feeling I was gonna run out of time. I have enough time, honestly. But honestly, I think that the nerves were less about time and more about being seen, TBH, because I was like, if I lock myself in my room and write, I can get this done pretty quick. You see people talking all the time about like, oh, I wrote the script in a weekend. I wrote it over a few days. Scripts themselves are actually not that long to write. They look long, like they look like there are a lot of pages. Like that's a lot of pages. This is 115 pages, but like each page doesn't actually have a lot of words on it. So it's like pretty easy to just, I don't know, like get it all done very quickly. And I'm not saying that the goal should be to like get it done fast, obviously quality over quantity, but that worry of like it's gonna take me so long, especially with writing, is just not as relevant. Now I've just been focusing more on like the editing process. But yeah, I mean, I just kind of wanted to share that, and I guess now I'll talk more about what the actual story is about. So Margot's Mind, like I said, is about a woman in her early 30s that is struggling with maladaptive daydreaming disorder, which is where people spend hours a day in daydreams, and these daydreams are like very complex daydream worlds. It's not like hallucinating, like you know it's a daydream, you know it's fake, but it is a way of disassociating though, and it's a numbing technique to like not feel your emotions. And this girl was like severely bullied growing up, and she fixated on modeling as the thing that was going to make her feel good enough and make her feel worthy, and make her feel like she could kind of like stand up to the people that I was having issues with my camera when I recorded this, so it like stopped in the middle of me explaining what the story is about. But yeah, essentially, and she uses modeling as a way for her to feel more worthy. Like she gets really invested in this idea of becoming a successful model because she feels like that is going to make her worthy to the people that like bullied her and blah blah blah. So, and she kind of like is always disassociating into this daydream as a way of like numbing from that pain. I guess that's the quick version of it, but yeah, basically. So yeah, that's my script, and that's what I've been working on. That's my current creative project, and I would love to be like updating on the work that I've been doing. And that was just the project that I've been working on, and I'm really passionate about it. It's a story that I really enjoy, and as I kind of mentioned in the beginning, I was talking about like getting back to like recognizing why it was I even started screenwriting. I think that when you kind of get yourself into a space where you want to pursue your art as a career, which I think is a fantastic idea, and if that's what you want, do it. That's what I want, so that's what I'm doing. I think sometimes people like to dismiss that because they'll be like, oh, it's a hard career, it's so saturated, blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, I don't know, like, people can be passionate about like medicine and law and teaching and whatever, and everyone encourages them to do that professionally, so I think we should do the same for artists if that's what they want to do. I think that when you're doing that, it's just really easy to get lost in the like, how am I going to make this work, how am I going to get the, I need to network my butt off, how am I going to get like people to like me and blah blah blah, people to like my story. And it can even impact how you create that, and it can suck the enjoyment out of creating, which is entirely what I was going through basically all of last year, where now you're getting more concerned with the other people and with what people are going to like and all of that, that it inhibits you from being able to really enjoy the art. So for me, a lot of it has been coming back to why did I create, what is the core of creating, and I made another video about that, talking about getting back to why you create, and that needs to be at the forefront. So that's what I've been doing, and looking back on it and literally just being like, even when I first wrote a book, I was in like the 5th grade, and it was like I just loved reading, and I had an idea for a story, so I was like, I'm gonna write a book, and it was that simple. So just getting back to that and pure enjoyment of it. So yeah, I hope some of that advice was also helpful. Yeah, so thank you for watching the video. Remember to like, subscribe, give me your firstborn child, and drop a comment telling me what you had for breakfast today. Bye.